Shane R. Monroe. You're in the passenger seat with me. It is Passenger Seat Radio. It is April 21st, 2025. On my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. Well, for those of you who missed out, I snuck a Saturday show in real quick. For those of you who might have missed it and didn't get to see that. But yeah, so yes, it's Monday, office, yuck, whatever. But hey, listen, I got to tell you about the concert. So for those of you, let me just here, I'm on my way out of the parking garage. Let me get scanned out of here and we'll do the show. Hey now, welcome to the show. All right, get me out of the parking garage. All right. So this weekend, of course, was the Kylie Minogue concert, and you'd be forgiven for not knowing who Kylie Minogue is, especially some of my younger viewers. But we're really huge fans. We like dance music, and Kylie Minogue has been around since actually the late 70s, technically, but she really gained her popularity in the early 80s. I guarantee you that you've heard her music before, you just didn't know who she was. So she's a multi-Grammy award winner. Basically, she's everything to everybody, just not in the United States. She's won tons of UK awards, European awards, just didn't quite make it here as well. So, but she recently won a Grammy for one of her songs, and that sort of put her back on the map. She started doing collaborations with more modern artists, so that got her a little more recognition. So, whatever. So she had a 30-day residency in Las Vegas, and my wife and I went over there, and it was a really unique situation. First of all, it cost a fortune, and the venue was tiny. It was very intimate. No more than maybe 1,000 people, less, I think. But it was a gorgeous venue. It was amazing. We were right next to the stage. It was great. But it was small. It was small and intimate. And so, if you've ever been to one of these huge concerts, they really go overboard, pyrotechnics and all this other shit. You couldn't get away with that in the little venue in Vegas. So it was, like I said, it was a smaller show. But this time, here in Phoenix, she came to the, I guess they call it the Phoenix Arena now. It had another name before. Can't quite get used to that. But so she was here for one night, one show, and she's all over the place. She's got this huge tour called the Tension Tour, and I think she's in San Francisco today, and then 2 days later she's in Seattle, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we were very excited, and we got really good seats. And I didn't realize that the really good seats were part of a VIP package. Now, I saw it on the tickets when I retrieved the ticket. By the way, God damn it, I want to talk about what a fucking pain in the ass it is to buy tickets, to buy parking. This isn't grumpy old man shit. It's just unbelievable the amount of work that it takes. And I'll tell you about the parking shit in a minute, because that was even more crazy. So anyway, so the show started at 7:30 with an opening act by some broad called Rita Ora. Never heard of her. Apparently Kylie Minogue fans have heard of her because they were all freaking out, and I guess, not for me, but whatever. I was there to see Kylie, whatever. So the wife and I were going to leave the house about 6, get there about 6:30, 6:45, and then go and buy merch, right? Because merch lines are ridiculous. And we decided to go early. I said, you know what, let's go early. That way we can find the parking, because I know this is going to be a pain in the ass. It always is. That gives us time to maybe go have dinner, because the whole venue around there is surrounded with food. And so we decided to go early. And God, I am so glad we went early. So I made the huge mistake of letting my wife drive. Now, let's back up for a minute and I'll explain to you why I let my wife drive and not me. So if you recall, those of you who've been listening for a while, when we went down to Tucson to the Hotel Congress, their parking situation was completely fucked. And by the time that we got there and she was hungry, it was dark, it was late, she was all pissy. And when she gets hungry and pissy and all that, not a good combination. That's when she's not driving. So I thought to myself, listen, this could get sketchy. She would probably do better if she were driving. That way, let me get on the freeway here. That way, she would have her mind taken off the fact that it's a complete clusterfuck, right? So, all right. So, first off, let me tell you about this parking shit. This is unbelievable. So, Ticketmaster loves to fucking upsell you shit. So you go to Ticketmaster and buy your ticket. So first off, it wasn't Ticketmaster. It was this thing called Vivid Seats. Now, I don't know how this all works out. Like Ticketmaster subcontract selling tickets to other companies. Okay? So when I went searching for the concert, when I heard that she was coming to Phoenix, the day I heard it, I went up and bought tickets that day. So I guess when I saw the news article, whatever, instead of clicking through to Ticketmaster, I clicked through to Vivid Seats. What the fuck that is, right? So I bought the tickets and I bought them at Vivid Seats, but it redirects you right to Ticketmaster. So you buy at Vivid Seats and then 2 seconds later you're back at Ticketmaster. You need to download the Ticketmaster app. Okay, cool, fine. So you download the Ticketmaster app and you do this and you do that, whatever, right? So we're good. This was months and months and months ago that I bought the tickets. All right, so now I start getting spam mail from Vivid Seats and Ticketmaster. They both have my fucking email address now. So I'm constantly getting, you might like this concert, this is coming up, blah, blah, blah. Well, then as you get closer to your concert time, they start telling you shit about your concert. Hey, it's 1 month away until you're seeing Kylie. Here's some helpful tips, right? So you got the helpful tips, whatever. So then a week ago, I get this email saying, you've got your tickets, now get your parking, right? Now, when Brian and I went to ELO not that long ago, for those of you who have been listening to the show for a while, we got completely fucked on our parking. Completely screwed. So I was hesitant to listen, down by that stadium, arena, down by the Phoenix Arena, there are numerous places to park, right? So you don't have to buy anything in advance, but if you don't buy in advance, you pay the penalty. So you could buy in advance and pay $23 for parking, or you could go there on the day of and pay $45 for parking. So I thought, okay, fuck it. Listen, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to get my parking. So the email that said, hey, you should get your parking, that came to me from Vivid Seats. So I went to the Vivid Seat thing, and then I signed parking, where do you want to park, how much are you willing to pay, blah, blah, blah. It's all this big negotiation. I've never seen a bigger scam than concerts and parking. It's unbelievable. So I picked the place that's closest, right? And it only costs $23. I'm in. So I get this email that says, your request for parking has been submitted. Someone will get back to you. And I'm like, what do you mean someone will get back to me? I just paid fucking $26 with tax, tip, and gratuity. And then another mail says, we're processing your parking. Someone will reach out to you. I'm like, what kind of fucking racket is this? So then I get an email saying that some dude has sent me my parking information. EMVV1 has sent your parking information. You can retrieve it now. So you go to retrieve it, It signs you into, I think, Vivid Seats and then Ticketmaster and then this. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But I got in there, and so now I see it says you can copy it to your wallet. Make it easy on concert day. Copy it to your wallet. Never can make that work. Ticketmaster is experiencing difficulty. You should sign in with another network. Blah, blah, blah. So I figured, okay, listen. I got the Ticketmaster app. I can get to my tickets. We're getting in. I can see my tickets. This parking thing, I don't know. So an hour before we left, I started digging for the fucking parking shit. So you go, you find the original email. It says, get your tickets here. You go in there. Oh, your tickets have already been claimed. Well, where the fuck are they? It's not in my email. I go to the Vivid Seat app and it says, oh, you've got tickets for Kylie and you've got parking. And I'm like, great, show me the parking. Your tickets are ready for delivery, or your tickets have been delivered. And I'm, where? So I'm a complete fucking basket case trying to find my goddamn parking. So finally, longer story short, I did finally find my QR code. Now, the name of the parking is US Airways. And they tell you it's located on Jackson Street between 2nd and 3rd Street. That sounds pretty specific, right? So if you're on Jackson and you're between 2nd and 3rd Street, it should be fucking obvious, right? Right? You would think so. So again, I had my wife drive so I could navigate, and she didn't have to worry about anything. I could just tell her where to go. So it just so happens, this is like 3 blocks from my work, by the way, the stadium. So technically speaking, I could have parked in my office parking, and we could have walked there. But, you know, again, I'm trying to keep the wife happy and sane. You know what I'm saying? So we go down there, and there's nothing. There's a what looks like a parking garage there, but it says no public parking. So what the fuck? So where do we go? There's no signs. There's nothing. So I'm like, God, what the hell? So, by the way, if you've ever been to downtown Phoenix, everything is one way. So if you miss something, the chances of you getting back to that place that you missed in a timely manner, forget about it. Plus, there's people all over the place. There's a bunch of shit going on downtown. People everywhere, cars everywhere, complete mess. So now my wife's pissed. She goes, where are we supposed to park? And I said, we were right there. So circle back around and let's go take another look. We must have missed something. And she's like, we didn't miss anything. I'm like, just. So we ended up having to go around like 5 fucking blocks to work our way around to get back to, and I said, go the other way. Maybe we'll see something different if we go the opposite direction on Jackson. Jackson's a 2-way. So we get down there, and I'm like, just pull into the place that says no public parking. I'll show them the ticket. They'll be able to tell us where to park. So, so I stop, and I show the thing, and he says, you need to go down the street over there to that valet parking. So the wife backs up because there was no cars at that moment. She backs up. I walk myself over to the valet, and I'm like, are we in the right fucking spot? And he's like, no, you're at the other valet. What? So like a half a block down from that valet, by the way, none of this is marked. It says valet on it. That's it. That's all it says. So, oh no, you need to be at the next valet. So then my wife has to make a 3-point turn in my car. My car's huge. It doesn't fucking turn. Big nonsense. So finally we stop, and finally it's like, am I in the right spot now? Yes, sir, you are. So it's like, oh, thank God. All right. So we get checked in, and he's like, okay, listen close. When the concert's over, we're not going to be here. I'm like, okay. Glad I didn't start drinking before we went. So when the concert's over, we're going to be across the street in that lot over there. So when you come out, come over here to the lot, and we'll get your car. And it's like, okay, we can handle that. That's no big deal. No big deal. So finally we dropped off the car. We got on foot. We went down to, what the hell's the name of that place? Christ. Great food. I managed to get a nice keto-friendly meal, a salad. I got one of these, I got a bacon cheeseburger with a nice cracked egg over it, all protein. It was amazing. Very good. And I kind of broke my diet a little bit because I wanted to drink. So they had this great club drink. House drink, not club drink. They had a great house drink. I had I had one of those. I got shitty later on when I got to the concert, but you'll understand why. So anyway, we had a nice meal. So by the time we got to the restaurant, it's about 10 minutes to 6-ish. Now remember, 7:30 is when the concert starts, but you have to be there early if you want to go shopping for the merch and find your seats and all that other shit. Because this wasn't that little tiny venue. This thing is fucking huge. So we get seated right away, which was great. We get drinks right away, and we get our food right away. So the food comes quick. It's yummy. It's hot. It's awesome. Now here's what's funny, and this has to have been on purpose. So they had really good music playing there. It was pretty loud. That's why the people around us were fucking screaming to talk to each other. But not only was one Kylie song playing when we were there, we had two of them. Now, considering Kylie's not super popular, except for one or two songs that you always hear all the time, but they played two of them. It's like, that can't be a coincidence, right? So we get done, and we're sitting there, and my wife's looking at her phone because she knows she's an wannabe early type person. So now at this point in time, it's like 6:20, 6:25, and the guy hasn't come back over to us. So we're done eating. You put your plates in the middle, you put the napkins on top, you make eye contact, you do whatever you can, short of a bullhorn. We're ready to get checked out. We have theater tickets. And the guy didn't fucking come. My wife's looking at me like, will you go get him? And I'm like, he'll be here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It was like 10 or 15 minutes before the guy came and checked on us. And, so we immediately got out of there. Now the wife's pissy again. I got a drink in her and I got her fed. So it was as good as we got. So we finally get checked out. Now we're hauling ass back because, we don't know where our seats are. We want to get our seats figured out before we go shopping, yada, yada, yada. I know, first world problems, right? Some kid right now is swatting fucking flies off his distended belly, not wondering where he's going to fucking eat. And I'm concerned about getting to a Kylie Minogue concert on time. It's just the way the world works sometimes. So anyway, we found our seats. Excellent seats right up front to the right of the stage. Listen, we paid top dollar. Fucking A right, they better be good seats. So then we decided we know where our seats are, let's go merch shopping. So when we went to ELO, for those of you who do not remember the story, my son and I went to ELO. The merch lines were fucking horrendous. I mean, ELO was one packed motherfucking concert. By the way, Kylie was not packed. I mean, it wasn't ELO packed, but it was packed. So we went to find a merch line. Now, when ELO was here, there were two merch lines, and they were cattle wrapped, right? So the merch was up front, cattle, and then there were lines spewing out way far back. So my son and I got in line, and we're going, fuck, we're going to end up missing the goddamn show. We've been in here for like a half an hour waiting in line. So somebody said that they had another merch line. So I took off to the other merch line to see if it was shorter than this merch line. And it was. So I called my son on the phone and said, hey, come on over here to the other merch line. It's shorter. We're good. This time the line was not nearly as long. Or we were just early enough to where it didn't matter. So we go get in the merch line. Got t-shirts, keychains. My wife got a tote, blah, blah, blah. It was fine. Expensive, but fine. Listen, it's a concert. You're paying out the ass for that shit. So then we go and we get a drink. And so it's really hard to believe that there's like full-blown bars set up at venues like this. I get like beer and pretzels. I get that. And by the way, there's plenty of that shit too. If you want beer of any persuasion, Phoenix Arena is for you. But my wife and I, we like mixed drinks. We like vodka. We like schnapps, shit like that. Frou-frou shit. So we went up and my wife's like, peach schnapps and orange juice. And she's like, and what else? Nope, that's it. Just peach schnapps and orange juice. That's it. And she couldn't believe that we weren't like, I don't know what people fucking come there and order, but she was like stunned that that's all we wanted was peach schnapps and orange juice. Okay. So we had those. Of course, you pay out the ass for that. I don't even begin to tell you how much we paid for those drinks. It's unbelievable. So then we went, we sat down, and then the people started pouring in around us, right? You know, that's how this works. And okay, for those of you who don't already know, Kylie Minogue, along with Lady Gaga and some of the huge gay icons. Now, when we went to Kylie in Vegas, I was probably the only straight person there. Maybe 1 out of 2. Right? The gays love Kylie. Unbelievable. I mean, I've never quite seen fandom like that. So of course they start, and listen, if you want a show, the show is on the floor. I mean, you don't have to wait for Kylie to get on the stage. The show is going on all around you because there are gays and there are gays. Right? Am I right? And by the way, the gambit is run top to fucking bottom. Whether I mean, 2 guys that might just be buddies hanging out that went to the Kylie concert, probably not, but you know, you could buy it, all the way up to the straight up Freddie Mercury, full Queen attire, unbelievable. So we love that. We love the people watching because every kind is there and you get to see it all. So this older couple gay men, these older couple sits in front of us, and we notice that the circus was most definitely in town. It's crazy. And so the guys in front of us had these lanyards on that says Kylie VIP. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't we get VIP tickets? And so I brought up my phone. It's like, yeah, Padam VIP tickets. Padam's like her Grammy winning song. You'd know it if you heard it, I'm sure. And so it's like, God, you know, do I bug them? Do I ask them where they got that, or is that just kind of being a rude dick, right? I mean, we paid top dollar. I mean, if anybody's a VIP, we should have been VIPs. So I said, excuse me, you know, I noticed you got that lanyard. How did you get that? What did you buy something special? He's like, no, we just got a VIP package. I'm going, what's what I got? And they're like, did you go in the secret VIP entrance? And I'm like, nobody fucking told me about any secret VIP entrances. And he's like, yeah. So you go in that VIP entrance, and then you'll get to this table, and they got all this shit set up, and you get all this shit, this lanyard and a notebook and Kylie pens and all this shit. And I'm going, God damn it, I want my fucking VIP package. I paid. And so I'm like, so where was it? And he's like, well, go out. I think it's to the left. By the way, this place is huge. So it's go out to the left. And I'm like, I look over at my wife and I'm like, is this worth the effort? And she's like, and she gives me that big wide-eyed look. And I'm like, okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Right now, by the way, this is like 7:25. Now, I do not give a rat's ass about the opening number, right? Don't care. We listened to some of her music on the way over. This Rita Ora. Didn't care. Don't care. So, and by the way, we're on the ground floor of this arena. And now listen, I know what you're thinking. Again, first world problems. I had to haul my ass up these fucking arena stairs, back down, back up, back down. I got my steps in for the day. Let's just say that. So I get up there and now I don't even know what I'm looking for. A big fucking booth that says VIP? I don't know what I'm looking for. So I start wandering around and it's a big circle. It's a big fucking arena circle. So I'm walking around and I'm looking by every gate, right? Because they said they went in some fucking secret VIP gate, right? So I've got to be looking for a gate and there's got to be a VIP booth next to it, right? That makes sense. So I passed 3 gates. Finally in the 3rd gate, I'm like, dude, this is going to sound weird, but I got these VIP passes and I'm supposed to get some merch or some shit, some swag. Do you know where this VIP booth is? And the guy was like, just looks at me like I grew fucking horns, right? Well, that could just be because I was at a Kylie concert, but he's like, no, hey, Bob. And the other guy comes trotting over from the other side of the gate. And he's like, do you know anything about this VIP booth or something like that? And he's like, Hey, Steve. So this other guy came, and so the other, the two guys at the gate, they're hired help. The guy that came over, Steve or whatever his name was, he like worked at Phoenix Arena, so he had his shit together. And I said, hey, and he's like, yeah, oh, the VIP thing, yeah, it's down by the so and so. And I'm like, dude, just point me in the direction, man. I don't know what so and so is. I can't remember what he said it was. He's like, no, listen, I'll take you down. And so we're walking. I'm like, dude, sorry, I don't know my way around here yet. And he's like, no problem. I say, well, it's probably better than wheeling some fat guy around in a wheelchair or something. He laughs. And so we get down there, and so for those of you who have not been to Phoenix Arena, at the apex of the circle, in the very, I don't even know what side it was on, north side, I think, there's a huge bar, like fucking huge. A huge bar with like 10 bartenders. Everybody's lined up. The place is packed for booze. And so I would have never found this VIP thing had I not asked. So wading through the sea of people and making a left into this little tiny alcove that says, oh, by the way, the sign isn't up where you can see it. The sign is down on the table, like the bunting of the table. It says VIP. I would have never fucking found that. Not once would I have found that. And I can hear the concert going on. So the opening act has started, right? Which again, not too concerned about it, but I did want to be down before Kylie showed up, right? So I go over to the merch booth, and let me tell you what. So there was one like perfectly normal looking woman sitting there. Then there was like, I'm not sure what she had going on. It's a bald chick. I mean, listen, I'm into this weird sort of vibe. So but like, I could only imagine somebody who wasn't comfortable with like, the piercings and the bald and the whole bit. So she was in the middle. Very nice, by the way. All these people were nice. And then there was one, there was a pretty hot chick on the other side. So they covered the gambit for us. And so I went up and I said, okay, hopefully I'm in the right spot. I said, I bought these VIP tickets, and apparently I'm supposed to get some sort of swag. And she's like, what's your name? And so I give her my name, and she's like, I don't see you in the system. And I'm like, well, my tickets say Ticketmaster. Does that help? And she's like, can I see? And so I show her my ticket. And she goes, it says VIP right there. And so she's like, okay, well, it's okay. You're not on the list. You definitely paid. So here you go. And she gave me 2 fucking goodie bags, and it was awesome. And so I grabbed the bags, and I popped one of them open as I was walking through the sea of people. I popped one of them open. There's like a Kylie branded notebook. There's a luggage tag thing. There's a lanyard that's got a little Kylie logo charm hanging off of it. So I put the thing on, the little lanyard on, and I'm trying to fight my way back to my seat. So again, on the other side of the arena, going back down. And of course, now everybody's trying to force their way in, because this must be a normal thing, because it happened with ELO too. Everybody knows that the opening act is at like 7:30, so nobody shows up till 8:15. Because when I sat down right before I left, rather, to go get the VIP shit, I kind of took a look around the arena, and it's like, when I went looking at tickets again while we were sitting at the dinner, I was just kind of curious if there were any seats left or, anything like that. And it was sold out. So why is there nobody? I mean, half the people are here, maybe 3/4 at most. This whole place should be full. Everybody decided to come at like 8:15 while I'm trying to fight my fucking way back down into the arena, right? Yes, and the place was packed. By the time that I got back and Kylie started, there were people pouring in like 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late. I mean, I understand they probably only paid like $80 or $90 for their tickets, not like $600 for their tickets. But Christ, man, if you're gonna buy VIP, why don't you show up on time? That's all I'm saying. And these seats are little tiny seats with little tiny aisles. So when somebody has to get to the middle, everybody has to stand up, blah, blah, blah. I know. Again, first world problems. I understand. So anyway, so I finally get back to my seat, and I catch the last song and a half of Rita Ora, and I realized I didn't miss anything. So I'm kind of glad that I was actually running around. At least I was doing something and not listening to Rita Ora. So yeah, and then the concert got started. And by the way, gays don't sit for concerts. I'm just especially not Kylie concerts. So if you plan to sit, you don't get to see anything. Even in my excellent seating, my excellent ticket, we had to stand up the whole time. And believe me, her fan base are very energetic people. Lots of singing going on, lots of dancing in the halls going on before the police come and, the security come and push them back into their spots. Unbelievable. But it was a great concert. I'd be happy to share video clips and shit like that if anybody really gives a rat's ass. But it was a really good concert. It was different, obviously, than the Vegas venue, which was extremely small and intimate. But she put on a good show. I mean, we're talking, the holograms and I don't know what her confetti budget was, but it probably would have paid my rent for 2 or 3 months, or my mortgage for 2 or 3 months at my house. The confetti was crazy, but yeah, it was a really good show. More of the newer stuff, which I'm fine with some of the newer Kylie stuff, but I'm an old school guy. I like the old 80s Kylie, 90s Kylie, not so much the newer stuff, but it was fine. Now the gays, on the other hand, they don't care what era of Kylie they're listening to. They all knew every word, every phrase. They knew the song from the first bar of music. Dedicated fans. I will give them that. I am a fan. I'm just not that much of a fan. So yeah, it went well. And surprisingly enough, now I figured it would be a complete clusterfuck getting out of there. When we left ELO, it was kind of a clusterfuck. But in this case, and maybe it's the gay thing, I don't know, but everybody was very polite. Everybody was moving orderly. There was no nonsense. Everybody fucking zipper lined their ass right out of there. And it was zero problems getting out of the arena, which blew my mind. And then when we got out, right, remember we had to go across the street because we're not going to be here. We're going to be across the street. So we went across the street, and I want to frame just how pain-free it was. We gave him the ticket. Within 3 minutes, we had the car. There were police all downtown directing traffic. There were no big stops, no big delays, no fucking train like when we went to the Deuce. So the closing of it couldn't have been better. So it all worked out well. We had a really good time. And not only did we get our purchased merch, but we got our VIP special bundle of goodies. So anyway, that's the story. I got the gay royalty treatment. Man, I'll tell you a couple things about this whole gay thing. Now my wife's bi, so she's on the edge of the LGBTQ community, right? It's a whole different thing. I realized a couple of things. One, I am not in good enough shape to be gay, right? So I'm watching these guys running around. And by the way, there were lesbians there too. When I say gay, I mean male and female. Not so much in between. That's something that kind of surprised me. I expected there to be a bigger trans community around Kylie Minogue, but it wasn't. Mostly gay men, followed up by the the lesbians, and then, believe it or not, this kind of blew my mind. A lot of heterosexual couples were there. Boy, girl, by birth. You can tell that they're normal people, right? Not saying the gay's not normal. I'm just saying that you can peep them and go, that's a straight couple. That's a straight couple. I don't know what that is, but that's a straight couple. There were more of that going on there than you would think. But so my wife said something to the effect of, well, it's too bad you're not gay. And I'm looking around going, there's no fucking way I can be gay. You see that guy had like a fucking 8-pack. That gay guy right over there. He's got an 8-pack. That guy's wearing a mesh shirt that I mean, even at my thinnest, I would have never been caught dead in. And of course, they're well manicured, not like me. They dress amazing, right? I mean, it's gay attire, but those people give a shit about what they look like, you know. So it's like, okay, I don't have the body, the clothes, or the hair, obviously, to be a proper gay. So my wife just cracked up. She's like, "You're so straight," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Sorry." You know, she'd probably like it if I were a little gay, but it's just not. That's not me. Sorry. Her, on the other hand, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, so yeah, it was a good time, and yeah, well, I mean, I would totally go again. You know, listen, it was great. I'm still partially deaf, which I understand will clear. It's funny, I didn't get deaf from ELO, but Kylie Minogue, like, you know, deafened my ears a little bit. So anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a good time. We haven't gotten to go out in a long time. You know, my wife's been sick. You know, usually like every 4 to 6 weeks we go out and do something. We'll find some themed pop-up bar, go to some club. You know, there's something. We try to get out and you know, not be locked in the house all the time. But boy, she's been sick. It's been rough. It's been rough. So it was nice to get out, have a meal out, have a little drink of doodle doos, and go to see Kylie Minogue. So it all worked out. Anyway, I did get my mini PC. I'm almost home, so we're gonna have to make this quick. I got my mini PC. I've done my Windows tests on it. I'm doing my Steam OS tests on it now. It's probably going to be a 4 or 5 video series, because I want to keep them short and concise and relevant, succinct to each other. But yeah, I think most of you will be very excited to have this sort of an option in terms of what's possible for that little money. You know, people come in all the time to the Steam Deck forum saying, I want a PC to hook up to my TV. And I'm like, dude, you're paying $400 to $600 for a PC to plug into your TV. There's got to be a better way. Well, I'm going to show you a better way, or at least a comparable way to do it with a little less friction. Let's say that. All right, listen, this is Shane R. Monroe, Pastor C Radio. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. And yeah, talk to you later.